Dear Princess Irene, I would like you to start off our dialogue and tell us why do you think it's so important for children to connect to nature?
I first want to say hello to everybody. This afternoon. Okay. I've been asked to talk about the children and the charter, and the children connected to nature. Well, I think, in fact, it's absurd that we need to bring children to nature, because we are part of nature. And we have lost that connection. We have misunderstood that we are not part of nature. So the fact that we have to bring children back to nature is a misverstand, is a misunderstanding, really, because they are part of. So it's very, very important that we give the children the opportunity to feel that they're part of the earth and they're part of all life forms, because we have lost it. And so there are a lot of ways that we can bring them back. And my organization, the Nature College, together with Stas Bosbeheer, we've started a program. It's called Nature Wise, Natuurwijs. Onderwijs is from up to low, so we say Nature Wise, Natuurwijs, because nature is the teacher. And we bring children into nature in a way that they really can have a magic moment, that they can have a real connection with nature, so that nature becomes something that they want to come back to. Because your first encounter with nature as a child is the opening to a relationship with nature for the rest of your life. And if you only sit behind the computer and have never been outside, then that is what your future will be like. Then it's very difficult to find that magic moment, that connection with nature. So we all need to try to bring children in connection with nature in different ways. You can do that as a parent, you can do it in the school. We do this school time, and we train the people who bring the children into nature. We bring them into nearly intuitive guides, so that they don't tell what is what, but they let the children experience. So I think that is very, very important. And if we get a new generation that knows that they are part of nature, a lot of things would change. So I have to ask you a question. We prepared this on telephone, so... Oh yeah, well, why do you think it's important?
Well, that's a question I did not see coming, no. I really agree with you fully that it's a big concern to see children growing up in a society that's fully almost disconnected to nature. I have small children as well, and they go into a supermarket. Well, my children don't anymore, but I see other children go into a supermarket and grab chicken, and they don't even know that it's a live animal that they're going to eat.
Well, it's dead now, by then.
Yeah, but it was alive, and they don't know anything about... Thank you. You see, everywhere you go on any topic of sustainability, you learn something. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. And I actually, my perspective is more, and that's what we really tried, is to get the right to nature, to get a human rights-based approach to nature, which we think is very important and vital for future generations as well. And why would it be a human right? Why would you say access to nature or contact with nature or a healthy environment, living in a healthy environment, why should that be a human right? Well, the reason is very simple. It's just as all the other human rights are. Human rights are our fundamental rights, but human rights are only our fundamental rights because they write down our fundamental needs. We need health, we need work, we need to develop, we need to express ourselves. So those are written down as our fundamental human rights. When they were written down early or soon after the Second World War, environmental consciousness was still low because we were seeing little impact of ourselves in Earth. And I think we've learned a lot on that, and it's quite funny. And I would like to share a small success, if I may, right now as well, because you're part of that success as well. Mm-hmm. Is that we 5 years ago, with Stand Up For Your Right, Tineke is involved in that, and Ruud Lubbers as well. We said we need to have a human right to a healthy environment in a human rights treaty. And even some human rights professors said, well, we'll help you, but, well, we won't know if you will ever make that. And most resistance almost came from green groups, and sometimes even from human rights groups that said, no, green issues are green, and human rights are human rights. But we were stubborn, and we maintained, and we struggled. And I bumped into Annelies Henstra 2 or 3 years ago, and she did the same, but she had a project that was called The Right to Nature. And she said we need to have children to reconnect to nature, and that should be a fundamental right as well. So we teamed up. We said, why not get a child's right to nature and a healthy environment? So we brought the message to Rio, the Rio Plus 20. We're very successful of making new allies there. And we brought this message to the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, which is happening right now in Korea. And they have this every 4 years. And over 1,200 NGOs worldwide and 200 governments are represented in IUCN. It's the biggest conservation of nature group. And we entered a motion in this conference, and it was accepted. So the conference of IUCN, this global conference, now says there is a child's right to connect with nature and to have the environment protected for present and future generation. A big step towards getting it into the Child's Rights Convention. But
2 days ago,
they made the decision. So major success. So I like to share this with you. Yeah.
It's fabulous. It's really fabulous. It means that every child has the right to be in nature. So we have to organize it that they are in nature.
Yeah, and let this also be an inspiration, because Annelies and I were both working without any money or means, but with a network, and we have both used our networks. So anyone in this room, this is another story about having an idea, feeling very strong about it, having to fight against the system that is in place. But if you feel strong and it's about connection. You stay close to your heart, maintain. You can have successes. This is one of them. So we were very happy about that. Yeah.